Hello?
Hello, is this Steve Wiebe?
Yeah, this is Steve Wiebe.
Hello, Steve. This is Dustin Wilmus from KMSU Radio.
Hey, Dustin. How you doing?
I am excellent. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks.
Well, we have some questions for you if you're ready to receive them.
You bet.
All right. Well, first of all, I'm here with my co-host, Ton.
Hey there. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Nice talking to you, man. Well, I guess we'll try to get started here from the beginning. What got you interested in video games?
I was just interested when I remember going to the store back, when Pong came out. It was like the first video game I remember playing. We got our original Pong unit like in probably late mid-'70s. I remember playing that, and then growing up, there was always video games that they started putting when Asteroids was like where Space Invaders came out. They had those at some of the restaurants. So I'd ride my bikes. Our friends and I would drive our bikes down to the local pizza place and play those games for hours. And then just became addictive. I just kind of got addicted to it. And then when Donkey Kong came out, that's when the graphics started improving. Pac-Man came out in '80, then Donkey Kong in '81. So once Donkey Kong came out, I hadn't actually played it, but my friends were talking about this new game, and I remember playing it for the first time. It was pretty tough. I didn't do well at all, but I remember falling in love with it, and that pretty much got me cemented in video gaming with once Donkey Kong came out, my newfound love, I guess.
Well, was it when you were playing with your friends and stuff that you realized that you were better than most people?
Yeah, I would get teased, like if they'd come out of the house with glassy eyes, like I was stoned, because I've been playing so much video games. But yeah, we'd play at the home consoles when Atari 2600 came out. I was better than most of my friends on most of the games. There was, a few friends that were really good too, since we all played. But my brother would tease me about being a video game addict. But I just was playing a lot with my friends, and yeah, I kind of was one of the better of all the friends that I had playing then.
So when did you get into trying to play video games competitively? Like, was that pretty early when you were still a kid, like trying to top each other's scores, or?
Yeah, we never really kept too much scores on many of the games back when I first started playing. But once when I didn't even know Twin Galaxies existed, but once I was getting these scores that were in the 700,000s in Donkey Kong, and I hit this kill screen that I didn't even know existed. This was back in like '90. Then I looked online. I was trying to find out the high score for what Donkey Kong was, and I couldn't find it anywhere. But then eventually, Twin Galaxies had an online scoreboard, and they'd been tracking scores since the early '80s. But it was really hard to find them since there was no internet available. But once they had their website, I was able to look it up, and then that's when I started, submitting records, videotaping my scores. So that was officially when I started being competitive gaming, probably like around '93, '94. But early on, we weren't tracking our high scores on any of the games. We knew when we got to play Donkey Kong that we'd get to the third elevation and no one could get past it. So our scores were pretty much stuck around 100,000 back in like in '82, '83. But I remember some of my friends were getting through the third elevators back then and into the 200,000s. But yeah, when I first started submitting games was probably around mid-'90s is when I started submitting my scores.
Well, and talking about the Twin Galaxies and submitting your scores and stuff, tell us a bit about your thoughts on the film The King of Kong when that came out. Do you think that kind of accurately portrayed what was going on at that time? Or?
Yeah, I think, they have to edit all this footage. The first film version they had was 2.5 hours long, and it got into this other controversy that was the double Donkey Kong board, which plays both Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. on a single board, and they didn't really mention any of that drama because it was the first cut they had. They would play it for other people, and they kind of confused the story that people didn't understand this double Donkey Kong thing. So they had to kind of edit it down to fit within the time. 80 minutes was a good time, kept the movie or the story flowing. But there's a lot of details that got lost, of course. But the main things are there. I submitted a score. They rejected it because of voice shield association, and Billy wasn't wanting to play heads up. And then at the end, I went to the final showdown and he didn't play. So all that's pretty plain to see. They did, for dramatization purposes, they would play up the villain hero. Just,
Yeah.
Billy is not an evil guy. I'm not such a great guy, but it just makes the contrast is what's appealing between both of us. But Billy's friends will, people say he got a raw deal out of it. And, there was some things that he said that make him look bad. But what I know about Billy and his friends will say he portrays an arrogance. And it's nothing that his friends dislike about him, but it's just his personality where he will stand in a power pose and talk like he's really high. And I just kind of think it's funny. It doesn't turn me off at all, I think. And some of the things that Billy says is just tongue-in-cheek. I understand it's just humor, so I don't get upset about it. People will say, "Don't you hate him?" No, I don't hate Billy Mitchell. I think he's fun. I mean, we don't talk much when we're together. We'll say hi, shake hands, but I would like to talk more. But he kind of keeps his distance a little bit. But I'm fine. We definitely can be in the same room, and we played at this Kong off in March, not last March, but like over a year ago in New Jersey, and he showed up and he played. And so we're past that, and we're having another Kong off competition in Denver coming up in November. There's a guy has an arcade out in Denver that's putting up another Kong off, so he'll have a lot of everyone who has scored over 1 million points on Donkey Kong is invited. And then there's like an open seat where anybody can go and play. They rotate on the machine. So there's prize money to win. So it'll be pretty exciting. I'll have to get back into form. I haven't been playing for a little while, but I'll be ready. I got a few months to train again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you are still, it's you and Billy Mitchell, and then there's another guy, isn't there, that you're kind of trading the high scores back and forth these days?
Yeah, Hank Chen. He saw the movie and he started playing, and a couple of years later he broke our record. And then I don't remember the exact order now. I know that Billy reclaimed it. And then once Billy got it, I beat Billy's score for this. This was a couple of years ago now. And then after I beat Billy, then Hank Chen came back and reclaimed the record. So yeah, we traded. Now Hank's got it, and he's playing a lot. He's beating his own high scores. So I haven't had a lot of time to play much Donkey Kong, but he's got the score up over 1,100,000,
wow,
which is getting pretty high up towards there's like a theoretical maximum that people have calculated. There's no perfect Donkey Kong score because it's not like Pac-Man where there's a fixed number of dots and ghosts and there's food or whatever we call the prizes. But we have like we put the theoretical max around 1,200,000, 250,000. That's if everything goes perfectly. Get the game of your life. So we're getting close to that pinnacle. So it's probably I don't think you'll see much higher than 1,150,000. That's probably the peak within reason.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, besides Donkey Kong, do you have other scores that you hold the records for, or other ones that you kind of are competing for?
I had the high score on Donkey Kong Jr. a while back, and now another player, Mark Keel, who I think he lives in Oklahoma, he broke that record. Then Billy broke Mark's. Billy came back and got the Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. record in one day. He did both those games.
Man.
But then Mark beat Billy's score like not even a week later. He already had a videotape of his new high score. Mark did. So Billy's high score didn't last on Junior very long. So I'm third on Junior. I haven't played much of that since the Donkey Kong title is what is more captivating.
Yeah.
So whenever I play, I just try to get the Donkey Kong record. But there was also I was trying to start playing Popeye, which is another Nintendo game that's similar to, I got your Popeye running around trying to rescue olive oil. It's kind of like the Donkey Kong theme. But I never had a chance to really go on that since the Donkey Kong record was always challenged. So I just had to focus on Donkey Kong. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the Popeye, but I want to try to get the Donkey Kong record back before I do any other games.
Is it pretty much just the classic arcades that you're into nowadays, or what are your thoughts on today's video games like your Xbox and PlayStation and stuff?
Yeah, it's just focused on, if I play anything competitively, it's just the classics. my son plays. We have an Xbox and a Wii. He's not into any of the Halo games or anything. He seems to be more interested. He likes the Mario Karts, which I've played before. But other than he plays, like there's another Pokemon game that he plays on one of these consoles. I don't know which one it was. But yeah, I'll play some Mario Karts or Mario Golf, but I don't get into any of the other ones. Just I don't know why it doesn't really inspire me to play them. I don't know why. I'm kind of just an old school kind of guy, I guess.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna watch people play them. They look cool. If I grew up when those games came up, I'd probably just be into those versus the classics. Just matter of when I was into the games.
Awesome.
Well, we want to say we appreciate you taking some time with us today. Do you have any parting words or anything you want to leave us with?
Well, there's people out there that email or send me letters, so I thank all the people that support me. And there's a Kong off in November that if you want to mention that, and then I think you can buy tickets to it. It's in November 17th. It's over a weekend, so it should be exciting if they like the movie, The King of Kong. Billy will be there, Hank, myself, and there's a handful of other people that are really good at Donkey Kong. It should be a good event if they want to go and watch it live.
Awesome.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Okay, bye.